NecroVMX here, and I'm going to be reviewing a movie, Bat-Man, the 1989 film starring Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton, which was directed by Tim Burton. Now, we've all seen this movie many times. I myself have seen it dozens of times, and I still try to catch it whenever it's on. The movie was a huge success, both critically and commercially, and this is for a good reason. It's a damn good film. The film introduces Gotham City and its crime fighter, Batman. We're not given any sort of origin. Batman is already an established character when the movie starts, although the general populace of Gotham City believes him to be an urban legend. We're also introduced to Jack Napier, played by Jack Nicholson, an underboss to crime lord Carl Grissom. Batman is established as billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne, who lives alone in Wayne Manor with only his butler Alfred, played by Michael Gough, for company. Rounding out the principal cast are two journalists, Alexander Knox and Vicki Vale, who become interested in the Batman and Bruce Wayne, respectively. Knox takes a lot of ribbing from his co-workers due to him believing there is such a thing as Batman, and District Attorney Harvey Dent skillfully dodges any questions about the Batman. Moving back to Jack Napier, who really is the focus of this film, we learn that the incredibly vain mobster is having an affair with his boss's wife. When his boss finds out, he's none too pleased and sends Jack up to be murdered at the Axis chemical plant by cops on the take. The Batman intervenes, and Jack winds up getting knocked into a vat of chemicals. He survives, but he now has pale white skin, red lips, green hair, and a rictus grin. He's driven insane by his own appearance and becomes the Joker. As the Joker, Jack murders his old boss, scars his girlfriend, and starts going on a crime spree. He has a fixation on the Batman, partly because Batman is always foiling his plans, and partly because he's angry that his antics get less press than Batman's. To cement himself as the number one weirdo in Gotham, he makes a bid to poison Gothamites by putting his deadly Smilex gas into various hygiene products. Instead of immediately killing you, though, it takes specific combinations of products for the poisons to become active. The film has a nice touch as you see news anchors who look disheveled because they're afraid to use things like hairspray and deodorant. Batman figures out the chemical combinations and saves the city, which angers the Joker. He puts his next plan into effect, which is to make himself look like the good guy and paint Batman as the villain. He holds a parade where he dumps $20 million on the crowd. Of course, the money is fake, and he releases his poison gas from the balloons. Batman stops this by using the Batplane to fly the balloons away and just sort of let them fly away. I guess there's someone else's problem now. Batman fires at the Joker, but misses, and the Joker shoots his plane down. The Joker takes Vicki Vale up to the top of a church where the final showdown is to take place. Now, one thing I want to mention at this point is the action. The action is not very good, although you could partly blame it on the fact that Michael Keaton is not exactly an action man. Even an action guy wouldn't be able to move very well in the rubber bat suit. He can't even turn his head, for fuck's sake, and the action scenes really reflect this. Well, we all know how it ends. The Joker tries to escape, but Batman ties his leg to a stone gargoyle, basically causing him to fall to his death. The final shot of the Joker's body with the laughing bag gag is really iconic and creepy. The film is actually full of some other really great shots, such as the Batplane silhouetted against the moon, or the final shot of Batman on the rooftop with the bat signal in the background. Now, what can I say about the acting? It's surprisingly good. Nicholson brings a maniacal zeal to the Joker. Although he's not the same character from the books, not really, he really is a character of his own, Nicholson's Joker. Michael Keaton, despite fans being skeptical about whether or not he'd pull it off, he actually did. He's competent as Batman and pretty damn good as Bruce Wayne. My only complaint from the cast is Kim Basinger as Vicki Vale. Her character is a photojournalist who apparently was a war journalist who was in Corto Maltese taking some pretty grisly pictures. I find it hard to believe that she's not a bit tougher and is always screaming or crying or fainting. After seeing Real War, it's weird that a schmuck who looks like a clown would rattle her so much. Another issue with the film is really that it's not so much a Batman movie as it is a Joker movie. Nicholson manages top billing and gets way more screen time than Keaton. I suppose that Tim Burton thought the character was more interesting. Also, I take issue, like so many others do, with the fact that the Joker dies at the end. Not only is it considered out of character for Batman to kill someone, and a bad example set for a lot of the kids watching the film, but they shouldn't have killed off such a great character. Overall, the film has its flaws, but they're rather small ones. The movie seems dated today with such thing as Vicki Vale's 1980s hairstyle or the Prince songs on the soundtrack, but it also has a nostalgic charm that isn't matched by any other Batman film. The movie was, as I mentioned, a huge success, which was unusual for a superhero movie at the time. Most of them bombed. I mean, look at Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Although it was followed by some really inferior sequels, the fact is that nothing can diminish the fact that Batman is a pretty sweet movie. Everything in it is so epic and iconic, and you manage to get past minor plot holes, like the convenient fact that it turns out to be the Joker that murdered Batman's parents when he was a little kid. Although that does add a certain duality to the movie. Batman created the Joker created Batman. It's kind of interesting, and I think that's exactly what Tim Burton was looking for. That's something that many fans will take offense to, and some casual Batman fans think that's the way it really happened. They don't know who Joe Chill is, or at least they didn't until Batman Begins came out. There's also the fact that you're not given any sort of origin. I mean, you do find out that Bruce Wayne's parents were killed in front of him by Jack Napier when he was a teenager and Bruce Wayne was a little boy. But the fact is, it doesn't really go into how he became Batman. I guess Burton didn't want to saddle the beginning of the film with a long origin story, and it really worked for the time because it got straight into the good stuff. Although, I mean, he probably could have done at least something, like a montage or something, or at least he could have talked about how he became Batman. Well, whatever, I don't want to complain about the film too much because I really do like it. The fact is, no matter how much you nitpick, Batman is a quality film. And I'm going to give it an 8 out of a possible 10.